Hello guys, TKG is here for your comfortable LostArk life. In this video, I'd like to cover the recent status and improvements that was live on the LostArk KR, as the KR region of the progression are quite slightly ahead than the global, so I thought it would be great to share some of those infos for your LostArk journey. Now follow me, I'll show you what you need. Before we begin, I'd like to cover some frequently discussed topics within the LostArk KL community. Despite the various improvements made, there are still numerous issues that need addressing in LostArk. This has led to many discussions and debate. So in this video, I've selected some of the most prominent issues to cover. And of course, it also includes my personal opinions. Also, I would appreciate it if you could share your good opinion through the comment. In fact, these issues can be summarized mainly by motivation and price. The current issues of LostArk mainly stem from progression factors and structural problems. Honestly, LostArk is too expensive. It might even be considered excessively expensive. Many people agree that raid tickets are overly expensive. For example, if you look at the current price range in the KR region, it seems the prices are generally set like this. If you filter out the minimum requirements, but still it is expensive to get a decent party raid ticket. Of course, you might ask, isn't it okay if we don't do all that? Unfortunately, the big problem is that these requirements are necessary. If you ask whether it is worth spending this much gold or money to enjoy high-level contents, honestly, I'm not sure. I mean, I seriously wonder if it's truly worth it. To be honest, LostArk raid contents has been considered as homework within the community. In simple terms, the purpose of the raid content is to quickly complete it and then move on to the next character to do more next homework. In other words, it is solidified its role as weekly homework. Why do I mention this? If you ask whether you can quickly and efficiently rotate the weekly homework, especially with the newly released Act 3 included, honestly, I don't know. Because it feels like the weight of the raid contents has become quite heavy. So it is true that the speed at which people enjoy high-level contents and finish their homework is slower compared to low-level contents. The problem, however, is speed, though this might be acceptable if reward and additional contents aspect feel quite satisfactory, but the new raid will eventually make you do the advanced honing again, although it occasionally provides good relic engraving books. So in simple terms, despite spending this much gold, the number of required tasks keeps increasing, and the return value is decreasing. This has led many players to express dissatisfaction regarding the cost effectiveness. But if you ask whether the structural problem mentioned earlier are only found in the higher levels, I'll say no. These same issues occurs in the low level, specifically in the 1640 to 1680 range. As previously shown, not only you have to fulfill the minimum requirements, but also need to do additional progression contents like advanced honing on the low level, complete elixir, or transcendence if they are lacking, and ultimately hone your gear with some low probability. This problem mainly arises in the 1660 to 1680 range. As you progress from 1640 and increase your item level, the rewards remains quite similar, but the tasks you need to accomplish increase. Most of these tasks involve purchasing items, which ultimately means spending money or gold. Of course, I don't think spending money on a game is necessarily a bad thing if you need to buy time with money to get what you want, and it's not forced upon you, then I'll see no problem with it. The issue, however, is that it is excessive. So, is there enough in-game gold? Well, if we include relic engraving book, it seems quite burdensome to rely solely on in-game currency. Furthermore, in-game inflation remains an ongoing issue, As you can see from the absurd price level of various high-end additional contents, it is still ridiculously expensive. Because of this, even you have a negative experience with the game and want to leave quickly, the sunk cost makes you reconsider. As a result, most users think it's more efficient to keep their character at the start of the tier 4 at 1640 rather than progressing further and stressing over more requirements and maintaining a stable gold supply line. Honestly, it's somewhat shocking, but I recently heard that bosses are being officially removed from the global. However, bosses or parenting are still incredibly common in the KL region because they are just efficient. While there are desire to see strong character performance, but being passive is often recommended as is more efficiency. This is because the requirements mentioned earlier are generally unnecessary in 1640, and structural reward issues still occurs in many other contents. For example, there is a system called Story Pass in LostArk. It is essentially a pass that allows new players to enjoy LostArk storyline while receiving various rewards. In theory, it sounds like a good idea, but the problem is high fatigue and the reward. The final rewards are quite underwhelming. If the intention was to help new players settle in, it would have been better to offer more motivational rewards. Furthermore, the fact is that many contents in LostArk have high fatigue level and some have been left behind from the update mainstream. To be honest, I really like this game. That's why I'm still enjoying it. Actually, LostArk's success in KL was quite lucky in some ways. Of course, the previous raid were well designed and enjoyable, but more precisely, the former director's outstanding feedback and communication skills may have been part of that luck. So as someone who has been playing this game with affection for it for a long time, I feel quite disappointed with the LostArk current course of action. Of course, the recent balance patch may have been the first step which reflects the opinions of the users. Nevertheless, I wish there had been a more detailed update regarding these structural issues. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching, everyone. And always, thanks for your big support. Hope this video was still help for your LostArk journey. And of course, if you like my videos, hit the sub for more upcoming infos. I'll come back with more useful infos in the next video.